Today we are going to talk about residential electric water heaters. Let's start from the outside in. Typically, we see these things stacked through the warehouse in nice brown boxes with a little white label on it telling us everything we need to know. On the inside of that box is the part the contractor installs, the homeowner uses, and everything you need to take cold water and make it warm. At first glance out of the box, you can see that there's an identical label attached to the heater that was on the outside of the box. All the information you need: voltage, phase, kW, serial number. In that serial number is its born on date, when it was built, all that good information. Now, aesthetically, when you're looking at a heater from the outside, there's a beautiful gray, white, whatever metal jacket on the outside of the actual hot water tank. It's just shrouding. All it is holding the insulation together and making it look nice before you hit that tank. Kind of looks like this. Like any heater, there is a cold water inlet and a hot water outlet. There is a safety device called a T&P, or temperature and pressure relief valve. The mechanics of an electric water heater are pretty simple. There is a heating element that heats the water. It's an immersion element, so essentially it's threaded into the tank. Sometimes they're threaded, sometimes they're bolted, but essentially it's attached right there, and it's wired into a thermostat. You can see here there's a little red thermostat reset button. That's a common source of failure. People think their heater's out, but they can just reset the thermostat. So I want to sum up this part because this is the entire mechanics of the heater. There's a heating element that's threaded into the tank right there. It's getting signal from the thermostat saying, hey, we need hot water. The heating element heats, the tank warms, and once it hits a certain set level, let's just say 120 degrees, the thermostat tells everything, hey, shut down, we're good, we got the temperature desired. Just like at home with your thermostat on the wall for your home. You're a little cold, you turn it up to 68, 69, whatever your number is. Once that room reaches that temperature, it turns the unit off. Same exact principles here. Now, I very much wanted to tear this water heater down just to show you the basic mechanics of how it goes together. So many people think these things are very, very complicated. They are not. They're simple. And us knowing that as the wholesaler, as the provider of information, it helps bring value to the contractor. So I'm going to take the T&P out. I'm going to take the hot and cold nipples out of there. And then I'm going to cut the jacket off, and you can see that there's just a steel tank that is glass lined inside. There's a big heavy enamel paint inside, and you're just dealing with a steel tank. Now, there is an anode rod or a sacrificial metal rod in that thing. So as the hard water comes in, it attacks that rod instead of the tank, and it's just one of those things that extends the life of the water heater. Let's look at it now one time in reverse. So threading that temperature and pressure relief valve back in, threading in the hot and the cold nipples back in. Your heating element goes on the bottom of the tank, right? Because your cold water comes in the bottom, hits the element, hot water comes out the top. And then there's your control piece, the thermostat that says, yes, hot water, no more hot water. That's it. Then you just cover that whole thing in insulation, a jacket, stick a label on it, and put it on the shelf. Electric, residential, hot water heating. So that's as basic as electric hot water heating gets. From here, they just get hotter and bigger. So you know the basic principles. So when you're selling an electric hot water heater to somebody, residentially or commercially, you're going to ask these 4 questions. What gallon? Pretty good chance they're going to tell you all this ahead of time, but this is what you need to know. How many gallons? What is the voltage? So whether that's 120, 240, 480, phase, single or 3-phase, and then kilowatts. Is it 3,000, 4,500, whatever. The kilowatts is in reference to the element. The phase and the voltage are electrical terms that you are not required to know. You just need to make sure that the information you're given matches the information on that water heater, and we keep on selling. Let's talk residential electric water heaters.